How would you describe yourself?
I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I'm an athlete. I'm a father and a husband.
Congratulations.
Thank
I know
you.
that's a recent addition to your life.
Yeah, last baby's about to be 3 months. So, but overall, like all of that comes back to, and when we're talking about work, I'm a creative.
Hi everyone, welcome to part 1 of my chat with Anthony Ricciardi. Anthony Ricciardi is a renowned artist from Toronto, Canada that has traveled the world showcasing his artwork in murals. Today, I joined Anthony in his new gallery at Yorkdale shopping mall in Toronto. Let's go to that part 1. Now, as an artist who's regularly putting work into the world, you must be familiar with people expressing criticism, judgment, and opinions on your work.
Yep. How
do you deal with criticism and judgment?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we're going to deal with in life. It's the silliest thing in the world when you actually think about it. Why anyone would ever intake something and then spew venom to anyone else is beyond me. I've never done it in my life, so I don't really get why people do it. But there definitely is a ton of it. For me, I've realized that if I'm organically doing what I love on a day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis, others' opinions really don't matter. I learned that I truly only learned it a few years ago, being in Yorkdale, which is like a shopping center, dealing with so many different retail clients coming in every day and saying either like there'd be 97 people come in and be like, I love this painting, and then the 98th would be like, this is the most garbage thing I've ever seen. And what I've learned is that art or anything creative, whether it's acting, whether it's speaking, whether it's painting or music, it's all subjective. So their opinion on the artwork means nothing to me, because there's been paintings that I've done that I didn't necessarily love but sold in 2 minutes, and there's been paintings that I absolutely love that never sold. So there's always this very unique system with creative that it truly doesn't matter. If I love what I'm doing, then who cares about their opinion?
So it sounds like maybe in the past you were more impacted by it.
Yeah, I mean, we're human, right? So I in the present, I'm still like, I get 200 DMs a day that say amazing work, and then one will say you suck.
And how do you get over your feeling of frustration or self-doubt when someone gives you that kind of judgment or negative opinion on your work? Do you just sort of try to brush it off, or do you have any other techniques that you use?
Yeah, I just feel bad for them. Yeah, no, truly, that's what I do. I just try to get into their shoes for like 30 seconds and be like, I just don't know what they're going through.
Gotcha.
I have no idea why.
You give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I have no idea why that person would have the urge to say anything negative. So I just I do my best to move on, because like if they have the problem, not me.
At the start of your career, before people knew about you and your art, what were some of the actions that you took to bring the most attention to your art?
Yeah. So I came from a finance background. I came from a baseball background. I had no clue about this art world. So I mean, at the start of my career, like rewind about 6 years ago, I would reach out to galleries and all this different stuff, and I realized why would they ever listen to me? Like, I'm just like a kid. I have no portfolio. I have no art background. I'm just like someone who just doodles on canvases at the time.
How old were you at the time?
Like when I was like between 20 to 22.
Okay.
I'm 28. So in that time frame, I was reaching out to galleries and things that I thought would be the proper direction to take.
Yeah.
And obviously got no responses, and obviously got nowhere with that. So I realized because I had a job at the time, I was like, let me just do what I like, and I just like painting. So let me just paint all the time. And what I found, and it's a consistent trait that I've seen with a lot of people that I've studied moving forward, has been when you do something consistently, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, because perfect is subjective, but when you do something consistently, post it. We live in a very social media driven world, and social media has been a large driver to a lot of things that I've done. But if I'm consistently doing something that I believe in, consistently posting it and consistently getting out there, like I would reach out to every interior decorator, architect, charity, and like anyone that would listen, or anyone that would potentially take my art to show, I would reach out to and do paintings for. First multiple years, I never sold a painting. Who was I going to sell to? Like
Does that mean that you gave them away to those people?
Gave away hundreds of paintings.
Really?
Yeah, at the start I had to give it because I just needed my name associated with different things, and I step by step, right? And did that at scale.
Like, because I really believe, I
believe exactly. Like, I really believe in doing things at scale, and of course, like, all free, no, but maybe we covered our cost a couple times, or maybe we did stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just like emails, calls, in person, whatever I could, just get it out there as often as possible. That's what I did.
Okay, that's pretty interesting.
For years.
It sounds like essentially you looked at it as a business from day one, and you thought, like, first I got to post on social media to have everybody view my work as much as possible, and then you literally contacted everybody that may have use for one of your paintings or a mural.
I still do this to this day.
Really?
I've been very fortunate that I don't give away paintings anymore, but I still reach out to hundreds of, whether it's media outlets or architecture firms or development companies or interior designers. I reach out to them daily.
Really?
Yeah, like I still do it every day.
And at the beginning, you were doing it with the whole
intent of, like, let me just try to get my art into the world, whatever. I'll take it, anybody, I'll just put it on my wall even for a week. I'll make it work. But yeah.
Right. Well, that's really interesting. Thanks for sharing. Are you worried that you're going to run out of creativity one day?
No. I think creative is organic, right? Like, so what would be, because the definition of creative changes for me day to day. I used to do an abstract with scribbles in it. Not scribbles, I used to script with handwriting, and that was very creative for me at the time. Now I implement that little subsection into a lot of my pieces. So it's like, I'll evolve as I've continued to, but pieces of my old creativity will come into. Like, this will be released after my gallery opens, but I just finished a gallery in Yorkdale shopping center that was this large-scale immersive thing that I never thought I could top, and top in terms of experiential.
Right.
And then we're sitting in my new gallery that I created 80 custom pieces of art that were installed into the floor, which is, I've done a ridiculous amount of searching and research on this, and it's like no one's ever had a gallery on the floor that people can walk and experience, and then have a gallery on the wall to match the stuff. So this was something that came out of nowhere, and I'm like, yeah, let's my contractor actually, I'm horrible with construction, so I didn't know I could do this, and my contractor came to me and he's like, listen, why don't you paint all over the floor? I'm like, no, I don't want to splash the floor. That's what I did before. And he's like, no, make paintings. I'll install it for you. I'm like, sounds amazing. 80 paintings later, and we have a custom floor. So I don't think it'll ever stop. No.
It sounds like essentially you're saying that your creativity evolves from
100%.
Even day to day, and
day to day.
What may be creative, what may not be creative to you today is creative tomorrow. So therefore, by definition, you'll always have that creativity on your side.
100%. I was in a frame shop that I buy a lot of my, like, ornate frames from. They had these little. I don't do anything small. Like, all my paintings are scalable in size. And they had these little mini frames, that these super ornate vintage frames. I'm like, these are amazing. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I'm taking them. Then I took them, put little modern pieces of art in them, framed them, and they look like little pieces of, like, a massive painting, but they're mini, and they're awesome. Never thought I could do that. I never did it before, but I saw it. I'm like, this would be fun. Let's do it.
And it sounds like that was one of the first time you did something smaller, like a smaller piece, right?
Yeah, I've done some prints and stuff, but never original like that. That's an original painting that's done at small scale.
What's been the absolute most challenging experience of getting yourself as an artist to where you are today?
I think as an artist, I really look at myself as an entrepreneur in a lot of cases. And I mean, being an entrepreneur is tough.
In what sense do you look at yourself as being an entrepreneur?
Because
as well?
Of course I'm an artist that does paintings, but I also run 2 galleries. I do murals around the world. I collaborate with multiple companies, whether it's from Disney to Adidas to Xbox to all these different things. So I'm managing 3 different facets of the business while trying to create original artwork on canvases. So the business side of it is very entrepreneurial in its core.
Yeah, including like what you were saying before, like consistently reaching out to developers,
100%. That's entrepreneurial in its core, right? And being an entrepreneur is very tough, right? Because it's very glorified in our modern day, but when it actually comes down to it, like, everything's on you, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like, my toughest thing hasn't been creating a canvas, hasn't been doing a mural, hasn't been collaborating with Adidas or XYZ. it's been dealing with the day-to-day, like the ups and downs are so massive, right? And it doesn't have to necessarily, we're not even talking about financial, because that's a whole other aspect of it, right? You're on your own. Like I remember 3 weeks after I quit my job, I come home like, oh, I'm not getting a check on Friday, right? Like you got to do it now. It's empty. You have to figure it out. So I'm not even talking about the financial standpoint. I'm talking about like the mental balancing of it all, right? Like you have so much on the plate at absolutely all the time. Like as we're here, I'm thinking about the canvas that I have to go finish, and the guy who's coming for a meeting in half an hour that I have to finish a bunch of stuff up, and all this crazy stuff's going on. And then dealing with the lows where it's like maybe I'm not busy. Did I do something wrong? Is my new collection, like, does it suck? Like is it something this, or I'm in my own head all the time. And I have the most incredible wife in the absolute world. She's supportive. We work together, and she's supportive of every angle. But in saying that, like a lot of it, I am alone. Like I have her by my side at all moments. But when it's 2 a.m. and I'm painting a series of canvases, or when I'm by myself, like with my music on, painting 80 canvases, no one's here with me. Right? So you do have, although I have an incredible support system around me, while saying that, it's extremely lonely, right? Because you have to, I can only execute this. And no one touches my canvases, right? Like I can make t-shirts where I design them and someone prints them for me, but then that's like one aspect of it. But at the end of the day, like I'm designing, I'm painting, all the different aspects of it, I'm doing by myself. So being an entrepreneur is extremely tough on those different angles. So that's been my hardest thing to over.
It sounds like you're saying that the transition from being an employee to being an entrepreneur slash artist, or artist slash entrepreneur has been the most difficult part for you, because like you said, being an artist slash entrepreneur, you have to deal with, number one, your mental state, making sure you bounce the highs and the lows, managing actual relationships with clients or prospective clients, doing the art itself, and then managing ongoing deals or business that's going on, right?
Exactly. Wow. Yeah. It's all fun though.
It's all in the end, hopefully it works out to be fun.
The one, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the one thing that is there is no end, right? Like I've come to this realization over the last maybe 4 or 5 months as we've been starting to think about this new gallery, is if you rewind 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I'm still sitting in my cubicle, and you'd be like, oh, Anthony, you're going to be an artist and you're going to have a gallery for 2 weeks in Yorkdale. I would say you're lying. This isn't true. It's impossible.
Right.
And when I fast forward and look at all the different things I've done over the last 4 or 5 years, I'm like, this doesn't even make any sense. And I've never had the moment, and I don't think anyone does, ever, to actually sit back and be like, wait, what have I done here? This is really cool. Or why am I always like, okay, what am I doing next? Because all we ever do in life is we set a goal, we achieve it, and then we set a new one.
Right.
So you're actually never free. You're constantly chasing that new goal.
Yeah.
And as long as you love it, I think that's fine. But I think where again it becomes tough to be an entrepreneur is like it's tough to love it sometimes. It's grueling.
Because
right?
you're always chasing after a new goal.
You're always chasing something new.
Yeah.
Like I have a new gallery that I'm already setting up that's not here. That's like 2 times bigger and 2 times scale, like 2 times bigger, like everything massive that I'm already planning for the new year.
And you got to do that while you're working on this particular
I'm already
setup.
setting it up. Like I'm already thinking about it. I'm already planning it, and I haven't even opened this one yet. So that's a problem. It could become a problem, right? When things stack up like that, it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Before you had a large fan base and before you were well known, did you feel less incentivized to perfect a painting because you thought, few people might see it?
No, I never perfect a painting. Like I to this day, like it's just, again, it goes back to whatever I like, because I look at a couple. Well, if I go back and like study like the greats of the world, I look at someone like Basquiat, who's an artist who used to paint on doors that he found on the street. His canvases are falling apart, the wood would be broken, and different like that, and his paintings go for hundreds of millions. Then I know people that spend every last detail to make sure the drip is good, and this is good, and the paper's here, and this is there. And for me, I'm just like I just need to like it. Like if I like it,
you need to like it and not love it. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have to like it because I can't fall in love with anything anymore because it's just too many. Oh, not because I'm gonna sell. I've never cared about that side of it. I make paintings to sell, like it's part of the business.
Yeah.
But it's more of like, I just recently did a painting of Audrey and I put resin on it, which is a high gloss epoxy, and it melted half of her face. I didn't know why. I don't know why. It just, for whatever reason, the way it dried, half of her face is like dark, and just the ink ran, and I don't know why, but it's okay. We just make it work.
It's part of your work now.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Like, it looks weird, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, I didn't know that was gonna happen, but I can make it look like it happened intentionally. This right here, this drip on his eye,
yeah,
that's from the canvas before, that's from the base, and when I put the epoxy on his face, it bled through. That looks cool now.
Yeah, it does look
That
cool.
was not purposeful. So things, I can never worry about like how something's gonna drip, how something's gonna dry. So many times I've had this beautiful picture, I went to splash on this canvas, and the splash hit over here and it covered half the girl's face. And I'm like, oh, this sucks, but it's okay.
Sounds like the lesson there is maybe don't worry so much about perfecting or being a perfectionist and
because
worrying
who's
about
the judge every
of
single perfection?
element. I guess you are yourself, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
if you think this is okay and I like it and it works for me, then that's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I tried to show someone what's perfect to me, they'll be like, this isn't perfect. This.
Yeah, they can always
over here.
find some sort of opinion or
So
judgment. Yeah.
it goes back to our first conversation. It doesn't matter what they think.
Now, so we spoke a lot about how at the beginning, you contacted a lot of galleries, architects, developers, and you still do that today. You've taken a lot of steps to build yourself up to where you are today. But what mistakes would you say you've made along the way?
I mean, there's been a ton of mistakes.
Any notable ones that you think I should really steer clear of those, or did you learn something from each of them?
What I've learned is that consistency wins. I've seen it through and through with so many creatives, everything from YouTube creators to artists to architects, is that when you're consistent and you're active and you're always on, like you're always doing more. And like when I say more, it doesn't mean working light hours. It's always pushing your craft forward. Everything works. And my biggest, I'll say quote unquote, mistakes have been when I got a little bit comfortable.
Really?
There's been times, there's been times in my career where
what's that look like? Does that mean you were just stepped away from pushing your art forward?
Yeah,
There's
been months at a time where I was like, I'm busy right now, so I don't have to email as many people. I don't have to reach out. I don't have to go to as many events. I don't have to do this. And when I look back, the reason I was busy in those months is because of the work I did 6 months ago.
Right.
And I learned that the hard way, because then you go, like we said before, like I can go a month with nothing. Like I in theory could. Like I could just be sitting at home. If I don't have anything going on, I don't have anything going on.
Right.
And
that's part of being an entrepreneur.
100%.
You could set your time, your schedule.
Exactly. But
nobody's calling you.
Exactly. So if no one's calling, the way I've learned why no one's calling is because I didn't set anything up 3, 4, 5, 8, 12 months ago. So that's why I'm always pushing the envelope for it, is because I want to make sure in 6 months from now, I have development projects for 2021, 2022, and all different type of stuff that's already working. Those will in the future, those will come. But like 3 months from now, I need to make sure that I'm still going because it's a never-ending.
It sounds like essentially the lesson is don't get comfortable, because especially as an entrepreneur or an artist, you always have that theoretical funnel of potential clients or leads, and if you let it run dry by not constantly refilling it with potential leads, then you could end up in a state where you don't have something and now you're scrambling to get leads quickly as
100%.
opposed to having prepared for that.
100%.
You see this crazy, incredible dream that we all hope to achieve. The main difference between us is that I actually wake up and execute. That's from another Muhammad Ali painting. And then the last one, this isn't luck, success isn't either. So how much of your success would you attribute to hard work and how much to luck, like in light of all of those things?